Now to the digital divide in public education. Nearly 10% of all students attend rural schools where the simple act of going online can hamper their ability to learn. Education Week, which partners with the NewsHour, visited schools in Mississippi with the slowest internet in the state. Special Correspondent John Tulenko reports on the problem and what's being done to fix it. Part of our weekly education coverage we call Making the Grade.
Calhoun County in northeast Mississippi covers nearly 600 square miles, most of it farmland, dotted by a few small towns like Vardaman.
Vardaman's is about as small town country as it gets. And everybody knows everybody, and most everybody's kin to everybody.
This is sweet potato country, home to 17-year-old Clemmy Jean Weddle, who goes by CJ.
If you count the work I put in the summer, I would be a fifth-generation sweet potato farmer.
CJ's doing well in high school, and she's planning ahead.
I see myself graduating from a four-year college in a degree I want, where I can have multiple job opportunities and not be confined to one.
But standing between CJ and her college dreams is a major problem. The internet at her school.
The internet is very contrary at Vardaman High School. You know, you have good days, you have bad days, but at Vardaman you have more bad than good.
Schools here have the slowest internet service in all of Mississippi.
History classes are limited to books and worksheets. We don't do research on significant figures in history or significant figures in the government now. And that, I think that's really going to hurt us later. You know, why be limited to that when there's a whole world at your fingertips, or potentially could be?
The internet here is slow because it comes via old copper wires running for miles underground. Even though high-speed cables have been laid by a phone company on one side of the district, on the other side, a second company has said upgrading its service is too expensive.
Jaisha?
Without those new cables, there's no high-speed internet for schools and students like Pam Odom's sixth graders.
These are rural children. Most of them have never been outside of Mississippi. There's a large portion of them that have never been out of a 60-mile radius of this town. Okay. And if our technology is slow, I can't expose them to anything.
Meanwhile, the rest of the state is racing ahead.
Make sure you have all of that copied down.
Amanda Reiser teaches sixth grade in Oxford, Mississippi, a more affluent college town just 30 minutes away.
How hard is it for you to go online?
That's not hard at all. They can get online and do research at any time throughout the day, really, with any teacher who has a cart or computers available.
And that's just the start.
Our curriculum is 100% online, so quizzes, homework, and tests are all completed online. We can add enrichment lessons, or we can have an intervention lesson, or we can add more practice on a certain topic or a certain lesson and kind of make sure they understand those fundamental basics before we move on.
Looking around, it suddenly hit us. Something was missing.
Do you have any books in this room?
I do have some books. I have textbooks available.
Where?
They're hidden behind the beautiful curtains.
Back in Calhoun County, they're still using textbooks every day.
So you're going to write that word.
And while computers and internet access are no guarantee of a better education, without them, students are at an unfair disadvantage. It's a problem in rural districts across the country. Some 20% currently lack access to high-speed fiber. But help could come from new changes to the $4 billion federal E-rate program, which helps schools pay for internet service.
What we did was we said, okay, schools, if you're not being provided service, or not being provided service at a reasonable rate, by your local provider, you can build it yourself.
Tom Wheeler, who heads the Federal Communications Commission, led an effort to overhaul the E-rate program, in part by giving districts like Calhoun County the option to use federal funds to build fiber networks of their own, pressuring local telecoms to offer better deals.
school administrators. Say, I'm not going to put up with it anymore, that I'm being told that it's too expensive or I'm being told it can't be built. But you actually can take the situation, and the FCC will help you take that situation in your hand by funding it. That's a game changer.
Recently, Calhoun County became the test case. One of the first districts to seek federal funds to build a new fiber network that included the option of a build-out of its own. Mike Moore is superintendent of schools.
All of these providers and all start popping up and saying, well, maybe we can do this, and maybe we can do that. But I don't think until we talked about really building our own line and putting the bids out, I don't really think they were serious.
As it's turned out, schools here won't have to build their own network. By inviting outside companies to bid on that job, or even come in with their own fiber, the district was able to secure a more attractive contract from its local providers to complete the job. But it'll take some time, maybe a year. Hopefully not too late for CJ Weddle, who'll be a senior.
I'm a very competitive person. I'm not a sore loser, but I don't like to lose.
No one said fixing this problem was going to be easy.
Here, Miss Howell.
In Calhoun County, Mississippi, I'm John Tulenko of Education Week, reporting for the PBS NewsHour.
The Education Week team has extensive coverage about broadband in rural schools at edweek.org. Online, you can also watch our recent story on how one of the poorest school districts in the country grappled with similar problems and decided to outfit its school buses with Wi-Fi. You can find that on our website, pbs.org/newshour.